Now, it was told to me by people that I learned with or superior to me at the time that the ARI was in Sfat in Eretz Yisrael for approximately 2 years, maybe less. He was originally a Talmud of Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, and he really replaced Rabbi Moshe Cordovero as the leading inspiration of Tzfat. So it was told to me that originally Rabbi Chaim Vital really thought that he was on a much higher level than the ARI, and so therefore he stayed away from him for about 6 months. Now let's see how that rhymes with until he finally, something happened, and he finally wound his way up. Now let's see what we have to say here, and let's see, I bring this up. There we go. So, notwithstanding all these accomplishments of the ARI, Rabbi Chaim Vital sojourned, he lived in Damascus. Every night the master would remove Rabbi Chaim's soul from its earthly garb and hold discourse with him while he was somewhere else. In the morning, Rabbi Chaim would relate this to his disciples, saying, "There is a learned Ashkenazi in Tzfat, and each night he holds discourse with my soul and urges me to come to him that he may teach me the Torah." And since in his own view he held himself to be wiser than the master, he spoke almost with scorn, the more so seeing that he had already written a commentary on the Zohar, that is, we're talking about Rabbi Chaim Vital. One day, he found difficulty with a passage, and though he labored over it diligently, he yet failed to grasp the meaning. Still another day, he found difficulty with a second passage, and again with a third, and none of which he could understand. Seeing how matters stood, he said, "Let me go to visit Tzfat, and while there, I will see whether the master is indeed equal to his reputation." And on the day he came to Tzfat, he went to the master, who received him warmly and accorded him great honor. Rabbi Chaim Vital put to him the first difficult passage, and the Rav explained it clearly. He consulted him regarding the second passage, and the master opened wide to him the gates of illumination. When it came to the third passage, the master said, "This is the limit of your understanding. You're not worthy to delve further." Rabbi Chaim was as a fox who stands before the lion. Crestfallen, he let him come to his house, took off his garments, and clothed himself in sackcloth, and sat all that day and fasted, weeping and praying to the Lord that he might find grace and favor in the eyes of the master, so that he would accept him as a disciple. The next morning he returned to the master and implored him to take him as a disciple. Then the master replied, "By night and by right, I should not accept you because you tarried these 3 months before coming to me. But your act of penance yesterday has been in your favor, so that I shall now accept you and not hide anything from you." Whereat Rabbi Chaim prostrated himself before the ARI and cried out, "May the king live forever." He sat and studied together with the other scholars. However, he would always forget what he had learned, until one day the master went with his disciples to Varia and had him drink water from what he called the well of Miriam. Thenceforth, and that means after that, he retained whatever he would learn. Let's do a little bit more on this one. So it happened one day as they were studying that the master turned and saw in a tree 2 ravens with plucked feathers. He called out to them, "Evil ones, in this world you sought to destroy an entire people, and now in your distress you turn to me? Get you hence," going away, go away. They fled in haste. The disciples then asked, "What is the meaning of this?" He replied, "Know that these ravens are Bullock and Bilam, who were taken from one hell, which is Gehenna, to be placed in a more terrible hell. They come to beg of my forgiveness for the humiliation that had been put upon me, and that I pray in their behalf that they be saved from hell. Therefore I spoke thus to them. Another one. It happened one day as they were studying, the master said to his disciples, I saw two now this is a word we had, bedizened she-demons, entering a room to defile two youths who were in it. Now this means that we're talking about these demons who enter into your sleep at different times, and as a result can cause you to have a nocturnal emission. Now, if you think that this is just an accident, everybody who's ever had every man has had a nocturnal emission, then you have to realize that what it is, the effect that is coming into your mind is actually able to produce a sexual discharge from you. And that's why he calls them demons, a very powerful thing. Now, I had it in my power to save them, but inasmuch as they brought to themselves by practicing witchcraft, I made no effort to save them. For thus said our sages of blessed memory, he who seeks to defile himself will find doors open to him. The disciples, on investigating the matter, found the master's words to be true indeed.